This is another Roll for Crit Kickstarter preview, and today we are talking about Adorable to Horrible from Plastic Hand Games, which will or is be on Kickstarter shortly or now. And this is a party game that is a little crude, a little crass, not the kind of thing that you want to play with children. Probably recommended ages 17 and up. There is a drinking variant involved in the game, but we did not experience that. But you can see here, you got your board, and you got your pieces, and each player has 3 of these little fellas, and you're moving around based on cards, and you actually don't want to move. Basically, the way the game ends is as soon as one player's, all 3 of their pieces are in the center, it's sort of like golf. The lower your score is on each of these numbered stones, the better you're doing. And so being here is actually 0 points, and being here is like, I think it's 50 points for each thing you've got in there.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so it's rough. So you don't move yourself, you actually play cards to move other people. And while you're doing that, the cards have very disturbing artwork on them.
For example, Kitten attends an AA meeting with a case of alcohol. He gets them drunk, they pass out, then he robs them all.
And that would be one of the far tamer examples. There are some in here we probably should not show, but I'm sure on the Kickstarter page they will go into more detail.
In particular, the bunny one.
The bunny has some weird issues going on. Very
Well, they're
strange.
all weird, but the bunny usually has one involving
The bunnies
streaking.
are sexual. I think the unicorn's violent.
No, the unicorn's usually drug related. The hedgehog is just violent.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And the cat's usually more like cheating in a cult.
Just being bad, yeah. Anyway, so you have all those interesting, and then there are some cards that are special one-time uses that are actions.
Some ways for you to move yourself up or switch.
Yeah.
Then there's these black cards.
Right. There are, I think, only 4, possibly
Oh, 3.
3. I don't remember, of these black cards, which are
Can't be countered. They're super strong.
So
Our game actually ended with this particular one.
Yeah.
It was the winner sends the loser one of their pieces straight to the void, the center, and the other one giggles while the other's destroyed.
right. So. And the rock, paper, scissors. That's one where you play rock, paper, scissors with somebody. So there are a couple little things like that where you get to do other things, and presumably with the drinking variant, those will be even more fun. There's also this thing where if you're moving somebody down, and say you're moving someone 4 spaces, they don't jump over, they actually push the next person in line.
So there's strategy in how you want to move people.
You might want to avoid moving your own pieces, or you might want to just lock a whole line down.
Split your movement. So if I wanted to move, let's say, the bunny, I can move this one 1 and this one 1.
And this is not final components. This is still prototype mode. One of the things that we realized quickly is that with 4 players, which this goes from 2 to 4 players, you kind of end up with pile-ups like this, and it can be a little bit unwieldy when everyone's moving like that. But for the most part, we got the gist of it. This is definitely a very light party kind of game.
Luck heavily.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that. It's almost like a race, only you're racing to stay at the starting line instead of racing to get to the finish line. But for people who, if you've got a group of people that like stuff like Cards Against Humanity, at least Cards Against Humanity in terms of the flavor of how vulgar it is, not in the gameplay. The gameplay is much more simple kind of thing. But I did think that
going through this, I think half the fun was going through this and just seeing what horrific thing.
Right.
And one of the best parts was, I know for me, because I drew a card that particularly disturbed me. And I remember going and just everyone's like, what did he get? Not because it's strong or anything.
Well, are you going to say, I think I know what you're talking about.
It's the one where the unicorn decides to give paper cuts to someone's eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But the art's definitely a selling point. It's super.
Well, and the poems. All of these cards
they rhyme. Yeah. So that's really half the fun is seeing those new cards, and I think there's going to be more in the final version that we haven't seen, which will add a little more life to the game. There's a lot of, I wouldn't call it backstabbing because there's no there's no front stabbing. It's a competitive game. You're not working with anybody.
There's backstabbing in the sense that you can easily be destroyed in one move.
Yes, it's got a little bit of that Mario Kart thing where sometimes that you can.
There are blue shells in this deck.
Yes, there are blue shells.
There are blue shells in this deck.
You can be punished for being in first and last in the middle. A lot of crazy things can happen, which I think is overall good for this kind of game. It's never, stuff can happen. It is very simple, but I do think that this kind of push mechanic that we talked about is interesting, and it's certainly isn't something that I've really seen other games do. So I like that it's. They could have easily gone a safer route with that, and there's no dice. It is based on card plays, so it does have a little bit more strategy than your typical kind of, at least against Cards Against Humanity, which has no strategy, or like Candyland or something like that. Which this is almost sort of a parody of a Candyland board as it goes from adorable to horrible. Oh wait, that's the name of the game. So
funny though, it seems if you look at the things that are on the pieces, they go horrible pretty fast.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. The message of this game is never leave your home, never leave your happy place, live in delusion and denial forever. So if you're looking for a party game like this with some weird stuff, this one might be up your alley. Another game that comes to mind is Quelf. Although there's a less.
Well, no, because that one was more like doing weird things.
There's less physical stuff, but same kind of vibes, I think. You can check this out on Kickstarter. Adorable to horrible. Otherwise, this has been Roll for Crit Kickstarter preview. I'm Jonathan Estes.
And I'm Will Keeler.
Thanks for watching.